When a person desires to rise above sickness and poverty, the first battle is not outside. It begins within. Your body and your circumstances often reflect the condition of your inner world. Before anything changes around you, something must shift inside you. You must learn to speak life where you once spoke defeat, to see possibilities where you once saw limitations, and to open your heart to the power that can transform your entire being. Sickness and poverty often attach themselves to thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that have been repeated for years. Many people carry pain in their bodies because they carry fear in their minds. Many remain trapped in lack because they silently believe they do not deserve abundance. But the moment you begin to renew your inner vision, the moment you begin to imagine health, strength, and provision, your environment starts to respond to that inner picture. Your thoughts carry power. Your words carry life. And the atmosphere you create within yourself becomes the reality you experience around you. Your inner belief shapes your outer reality in ways far deeper than most people ever recognize. Everything in your life begins as an invisible seed planted inside your mind and spirit. The thoughts you repeat, the images you dwell on, and the emotions you entertain form the blueprint of the world you eventually walk into. When a person constantly believes they are weak, unlucky, or destined to suffer, life begins to mirror that inner expectation. Doors seem to close, opportunities feel distant, and even the body responds with fatigue and sickness. But when a person dares to shift their belief, even slightly, the atmosphere around them begins to change. Your belief has creative power. It attracts experiences, shapes decisions, and influences the energy you release into the environment. Many people try to change their lives by fighting circumstances, yet the real transformation begins when they change what they allow to live inside them. If you carry fear, the world looks frightening. If you carry doubt, every step feels heavy. But if you carry faith, the impossible begins to feel possible. When you believe that healing is available, your body opens itself to renewal. When you believe that abundance is not far from you, your mind starts noticing the opportunities that were always there but hidden from your limited perception. Inner belief acts like a lens. If it is clouded, the world appears dark. If it is clear, your path becomes visible. Your inner belief shapes how you speak, how you walk, and how you interpret events. A person who believes in restoration will not surrender to sickness because they know their body can be strengthened. A person who believes in provision will not fear tomorrow because their heart is anchored in trust. Even your decisions begin to align with your inner conviction. When you believe you are capable, you take action. When you believe you are unworthy, you stay stagnant. Many breakthroughs are missed, not because they were impossible, but because the individual did not believe they could receive them. This is why the journey away from sickness and poverty begins with a shift inside. You must train your mind to expect strength, to expect growth, to expect healing, and to expect increase. When you repeat positive inner words, your emotions change. When your emotions change, your behavior transforms. When your behavior transforms, your reality follows. The moment you decide to believe differently, a new life begins to open before you. Stop identifying with sickness and speak the language of healing, because the moment you call something mine, you give it a home inside your life. Many people unknowingly strengthen their illness by constantly repeating phrases like my pain, my weakness, my disease, as if these conditions define who they are. But sickness is not your identity. It is an experience, and experiences can change. When you shift the way you speak, You shift the authority sickness has over your mind and over your body. Your words are not empty. They carry a vibration that affects your emotions, your energy, and even your physical state. When you speak with fear, your body tightens. When you speak with hope, your body opens. When you speak healing, your body begins to respond. The human body listens to the voice of the mind. The cells react to the messages you repeatedly give them. If the message is, I am tired, I am sick, I am weak, those cells receive instructions to remain in that condition. But when the message becomes, I am recovering, I am getting stronger, I am being restored, your body begins to repair itself from within. This is not imagination. It is the power of alignment between your mind and your physical being. Healing often starts long before the symptoms disappear. It starts when you create an inner environment where your body feels safe to heal. Many people wait for sickness to leave before they speak healing, but the true power is activated when you speak healing while the symptoms are still present. You are not denying reality, you are declaring a higher possibility. When you speak life, you direct your focus towards strength rather than suffering. Instead of obsessing over what feels wrong, you choose to honor what is becoming right. This shift in language creates a shift in emotion, and emotion affects your physical chemistry. Peace strengthens your immune system. Hope improves your breathing. Confidence stabilizes your nervous system. Your words become medicine when you choose them with intention. Stop allowing sickness to write your story. Refuse to accept it as a permanent part of your identity. Treat every pain as temporary, every symptom as something passing through, not something belonging to you. Rise each day and declare healing with your mouth, even if your body is still catching up. Speak strength into your organs, energy into your cells, and life into every part of your being. The language you use becomes the atmosphere your body grows in. And when that atmosphere is filled with healing, your body will begin to respond in ways that surprise you. Breaking the mindset of scarcity and embracing the mindset of multiplication is one of the most powerful shifts a person can make when trying to rise above poverty and limitation. Scarcity is not just a financial condition. It is a pattern of thinking that convinces you there is never enough. It whispers that opportunities are rare, success is only for a few, and your life is meant to be small. When a person lives with this mindset, they hesitate to try, to dream, or to grow. Scarcity keeps the mind focused on what is missing instead of what is possible. It teaches you to protect instead of create, to survive instead of expand. But transformation begins when you stop agreeing with that inner voice of lack and start training your mind to see life through the lens of abundance. The mindset of multiplication is a mindset that believes every small seed can grow. Every small step can lead somewhere, and every small opportunity can open a bigger door. It teaches you to look at what you already have and ask, how can this grow? Instead of saying, this is all I have. Multiplication starts with gratitude, because a grateful heart recognizes value in even the smallest beginnings. When you appreciate what is in your hands, you activate creativity, resourcefulness, and inner strength. But when you despise small beginnings, you shut down the very process that leads to increase. Many people remain stuck in poverty because they think increase only comes from external sources, luck, chance, connections, or sudden miracles. But the truth is, increase begins inside the mind. A person with a multiplication mindset looks at problems and begins to see ideas. They look at challenges and begin to see solutions. They look at their skills and ask how those skills can create value for others. Poverty weakens when you start thinking this way because you no longer wait for life to change. You begin to participate in your own growth. Embracing multiplication also means believing that what you give will return in greater measure. Generosity breaks the fear of lack and opens room for more to come. When you hold tightly to everything you have, you communicate scarcity to your own mind. But when you release even in small ways, you declare that there is more waiting for you ahead. The mindset of multiplication turns a limited life into an expanding one. It trains your eyes to see potential, your hands to create value, and your heart to expect increase. When this mindset becomes your inner foundation, poverty no longer has the power to define your future. Your words carry spiritual power. Declare strength, health, and abundance, because every sentence that leaves your mouth becomes a seed planted in the soil of your future. Many people do not realize that their daily language shapes the atmosphere around their lives. When you repeatedly speak words like, "I can't," "I'm tired," "nothing ever works for me," or "I will always be stuck," you create barriers in your own path. These words become invisible chains that limit your progress, weaken your confidence, and invite negativity to settle in your environment. But when you choose to speak strength, even in moments of weakness, you begin to activate a new direction for your life. Your words influence your thoughts, and your thoughts influence your actions. When you declare strength, you start behaving like someone who is strong. When you declare healing, your emotions soften and your body begins to align with recovery. When you declare abundance, your mind opens to opportunities and ideas that were hidden from you before. Speaking with power is not about pretending that challenges do not exist. It is about refusing to let challenges define you. Your words become the steering wheel of your life. Where you speak is where you move. There is a spiritual law that what you speak repeatedly has the authority to grow. Negative words feed fear, but positive words feed faith. If you constantly speak weakness, you will feel weaker. But if you speak life and strength, your energy begins to rise. This is why some people who remain silent about their dreams struggle to achieve them, because silence leaves room for doubt. But when you speak your desires aloud with conviction, you give them direction and momentum. You remind yourself of who you want to become and what kind of life you are building. Words also create emotional environments. A heart filled with fear speaks words of defeat. A heart filled with hope speaks words of expectation. The moment you shift your speech, you shift your emotional climate. Speak calm and your mind finds peace. Speak hope and your spirit gains courage. Speak gratitude and your heart expands. These emotional changes directly influence your physical and financial life, because a peaceful mind makes better decisions, a hopeful heart sees possibilities, and a grateful spirit attracts more to be grateful for. When you begin to speak strength, healing, and abundance consistently, you train your spirit to rise above challenges. Your words become light in dark places, a compass when you feel lost, and a foundation for new possibilities. The language you choose becomes the reality you live in, and when that language is filled with power, your life begins to shift toward breakthrough. Vision creates transformation because the pictures you hold inside your mind become the silent forces guiding your actions, shaping your emotions, and directing the path of your life. Every great change begins as an image before it becomes a reality. If you see yourself sick, weak, and limited, your mind will naturally move you toward decisions that match that image. If you see yourself poor, struggling, and stuck, you will behave in ways that keep you in that cycle. But the moment you create a new inner picture, a picture of strength, healing, abundance, and growth, your entire being begins to shift toward that vision. Vision is more than imagination. It is the ability to see beyond your current condition. Many people stay trapped in sickness and poverty, not because they lack ability, but because they cannot see themselves outside their struggles. Their inner picture is filled with fear, doubt, and memories of past failures. But when you intentionally paint a new picture inside your heart, you give your mind something powerful to follow. Your thoughts begin to align with your vision. Your emotions begin to respond to the future you see. And your behavior begins to support the direction you desire to go. A clear vision also awakens energy within you. When you see yourself healed, your body becomes more responsive to restoration. When you see yourself strong, your posture changes, your confidence rises, and your decisions become bolder. When you visualize abundance, your creativity activates and you start noticing possibilities that were always around you but hidden from your old mindset. Vision turns the invisible into the roadmap for your transformation. The stronger the vision, the stronger the pull. A vague dream creates weak motivation, but a vivid picture generates powerful momentum. When your inner image is filled with life, purpose, and possibility, you begin to walk differently, you talk differently, you think differently. Even in moments of difficulty, the vision inside you keeps you from giving up. Vision becomes your anchor when storms come and your compass when you feel lost. Transformation happens when the vision inside becomes more real to you than the circumstances around you. If you hold the picture long enough, speak it, feel it, and believe it, your life will begin to move in its direction. Vision is the birthplace of healing, the foundation of prosperity, and the engine that drives inner change. When you change your inner picture, your outer world eventually follows. Gratitude and generosity open the door to continuous blessing because they shift the heart from a place of fear into a state of openness. Many people live with a tight, closed spirit, holding on to whatever little they have, fearing that if they release anything, nothing more will come. This fear blocks the flow of abundance, creativity, and even emotional well-being. But gratitude breaks this fear. When you choose to acknowledge the good that already exists in your life, even if it seems small, you create an inner vibration that attracts more good. Gratitude turns your attention from what is missing to what is present, and whatever you focus on begins to grow. A grateful heart sees possibilities more clearly. When you wake up and thank life for strength, for breath, for provision, for opportunities, even the ones that haven't fully manifested yet, you begin to shift your entire emotional chemistry. Gratitude calms anxiety, softens frustration, and builds resilience. It strengthens your belief that more good is on the way, and when your inner atmosphere becomes positive and hopeful, you make better decisions, engage with more confidence, and notice doors that once seemed invisible. A person filled with gratitude becomes naturally aligned with abundance. Generosity is the second key because giving creates an unbroken cycle of return. When you give, whether a smile, kindness, support, time, or resources, you are planting seeds. These seeds carry the energy of increase. Generosity signals to your mind and spirit that you live in a world where there is more than enough. And this belief invites abundance back into your life. People who give from the heart radiate trust, openness, and courage, qualities that attract opportunity, relationships, and positive experiences. Generosity does not shrink your life, it expands it. Many people misunderstand giving and think it must always be large or dramatic, but real generosity begins with what you have. A kind word, a small helping hand, a moment of compassion. These acts create ripples that return in unexpected ways. The act of giving trains your spirit to release fear and embrace growth. It reminds you that you are connected to something larger, something limitless. When gratitude and generosity work together, they form a powerful spiritual cycle. Gratitude fills you, generosity flows from you. Gratitude opens your heart. Generosity opens your future. Gratitude multiplies what you see. Generosity multiplies what you receive. Together they create an inner environment where blessings do not just arrive, they continue. And when your life becomes aligned with this flow, sickness loses its strength, poverty loses its grip, and you begin to experience a level of abundance that grows from the inside out.